Now our buddy Matt Frevola, the steamroller, is in the house. UFC 309 coming your way Saturday night at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And Matt's kind enough to stop by for a few minutes right now. Matt, how you been?
Doing good, man. You got to love when the UFC comes to town. MSG again, they always bring the great fights. We got John Jones coming. I'm doing good, man. How are you?
No, I'm doing fantastic. So you've had that thrill before, right? You know both sides of it, winning and losing at Madison Square Garden. But as someone that grew up right on Long Island, you know the importance of the world's most famous arena, to be able to fight and knowing how much it means to you with the local roots, just like how do you kind of look back at those experiences and those memories?
Dude, I mean, it doesn't get bigger than MSG, especially growing up Long Island kid. It's the Mecca, you know, the world's most famous arena. So that was always like the dream, fighting at MSG. And now it's insane that I've done it 3 times, and I've won, I've lost, and I've had a draw. So I've done everything at MSG. So it's always fun, you know, when the UFC comes to town.
So how about your fighting future? You were on a hot streak for a while, and you lost the last 2. Where are we at right now at the steamroller train with Matt Frevola?
You know, I'm just enjoying training right now. I'm getting back to the gym, helping the team. We got so many, you know, up-and-coming Long Island fighters coming up. So just getting in the gym, training, helping these guys, and, you know, figuring out how to be a dad. I got my 4-month-old baby Cash back home, so enjoying that and just living life. So can't complain.
Well, now you got a lot of responsibilities. Congratulations, by the way. Usually you just have to get ready to fight, and also you have to deal with the cheese roller as well and all the chaos that he causes for you. But when you have now a kid, how has that been, like, kind of life-changing, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, I bring him into the gym. He just does his tummy time, gets his neck muscles on point in the gym, watches his dad, you know, hit some pads. So it's fun, you know. And then just like the next generation is coming. You know, now I got a kid, so I could see that. And then these next young fighters coming up in the gym, and we still got Weidman, you know. And now it's nice. Like Aljamain's back, Merab's back. So it's nice to have the whole team, you know, back when the UFC's in town.
So anytime that you're coming in or I get a UFC guy on, I text 2 people around here, Pete Hoffman, who you know,
yeah.
And then one of my former coworkers that I used to work with, Ike Feldman, who's
nice.
a big
nice.
fighter now, which I
Yes.
didn't even know. So I told him you were coming in, and he goes, "Oh yeah, Matt choked me out the other week when you guys were sparring and grappling and getting ready." So give me the scouting report on Ike.
Dude, I mean, Ike's got it. You know, he's training for a jiu-jitsu competition right now. And he's a competitor. Like when I first met Ike, he was getting ready for a boxing fight.
Yeah, he's a silent assassin.
Oh yeah, he loves martial arts, and he's perfect. He's been crushing the podcast too, talking with a lot of fighters, and I'm excited for his competition coming up because he knows what he's doing on the ground.
For sure. Matt Frevola here with us. So what's the latest? I remember that guy, Patty Pimblett, who is big, and he was ducking you. And then when you finally lost, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I would have fought him. But, you know, now that's beneath me because he can't win." That guy, what a fraud Patty Pimblett is, right?
Hey, you know, I give him the respect. He's killing it. He had that amazing submission against Bobby Green. And we'll see. He's going to get a big fight. You know, yeah. I think him and Moicano might be next or whatever it is. He's going to get a big fight. So, you know, I think me and him down the road is definitely something. We'll see. Maybe we'll both be like 50 years old. We'll just do influencer boxing.
You'll be like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then let me be clear with Patty. You know, I was annoyed because I know you and all that, and I thought it was weak. But he has kind of restored his reputation since coming back from the injury.
Yeah, you know, he's a good fighter. I've always given him the respect that his jiu-jitsu is high level. He could submit any one of these guys, and then his stand-up is coming along too, and he's beating the guys that they're putting in front of him. So as long as you keep doing that, he'll keep getting big fights. So I'm excited for his next fight.
Now, you talk to more people than I do in the fight world, so everyone has a different opinion on this Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. I just look at it on social media. I see some videos of Mike Tyson. I'm like, all righty, that's the Mike Tyson that we all know. And then I see some other videos where I'm like, ooh, I don't think that this should be happening. What are your thoughts on the fight Friday?
Yeah, I can't believe it's actually happening. Like, I can't believe that it got sanctioned. But, I mean, I'm holding on to some glimmer of hope, like all of us, that Mike could come in there and just, like, look like he used to and catch Jake and get an awesome knockout. Like, of course, I want to see that too. But that's not how the fight game works. That's not how it works. And Jake is in his prime. It looks like he's training the right way. And he's, I see he's showing his sparring clips. That was one thing I was like, I want to see if Mike Tyson's sparring. Can he still take a hit? I saw a little bit of his sparring footage, so it made me feel a little bit better. But I mean,
you think Jake's gonna win?
Yeah, I think most likely Jake's gonna go in there and put a beating on him. Hopefully, it doesn't like knock him out, and have it go viral clip. You don't want to see that.
Be sad, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to see that from Mike Tyson. But hopefully Mike Tyson goes in there and puts a good showing for himself. But Father Time is undefeated.
And here's the thing. It's brilliant on Jake Paul's front. Like, if you lose, all right, you lose to Mike Tyson. If you win, though, anyone that ever said, oh, you're not a real boxer, it's like, well, I just knocked out Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but they're still going to say you knocked out Mike Tyson
when he's a dinosaur.
60 years old. So until Jake Paul really, fights someone his own age, a boxer, an up-and-coming guy, kind of like, around him, he's not going to get their respect, which, we'll see. He's promoted himself like the right way, and he's picking these fights the right way.
Strategic.
Yeah, and we're all gonna watch. It's crazy. It's gonna be on Netflix, so it's interesting. I think that's one thing that interests me the most. Netflix getting into the fight business.
Now, you think that'll have an impact for you guys?
I think so. I think the UFC has a deal with ESPN.
Yeah,
and now once that deal's up, just having another face in the game. What could you imagine, like Netflix, UFC being exclusively with Netflix? I think it just makes it all a little bit interesting, even though the fighters won't see any of that money.
Yeah, right. I want to keep my relationship in a good spot with Dana White, so I'm not going to touch that one. Matt Frevola here with us.
We should, though.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, go ahead. You can say what you want about it.
Yeah, it's just the fighters don't have a fighters union. That's why we don't have any representation in any of those contracts. But hopefully, one day that'll change.
So how do you create change is my question. Because this has been something, hey, I've talked about it with Dana before. I've had fighters on. It's one of those issues. It never goes away. It's always talked about it. Everyone has their 2 cents. What needs to happen in your perspective?
I think we'll see. There's this lawsuit that's going on that's been going back and forth. See like what happens with that. But I remember I signed back in the day it was some kind of like fighters union, but and it was Leslie Smith was like running it, and then they just found out and they just like instantly cut her.
Oh, okay.
It's like but I think as long as people keep talking about it, it'll move in the right direction.
Matt Frevola here with us. Let me ask you about Jon Jones, because Dana always says he's the best pound for pound fighter on the planet. You being in the fight game, do you agree with that?
Technically he is. He's never been beat. No one's ever been able to solve the Jon Jones puzzle. But you always have to put a little, salt on that with the drug tests and him hiding from USADA, and but no one's ever beat him. And I do respect that he's going up to heavyweight. I'm very curious to see the heavyweight Jon Jones experiment, because it's still, we saw, a glimpse of it, like a minute. He went in there, took down Gane, choked him out right away. But Stipe is going to really test him. And that's what I'm excited, because nobody runs through Stipe. And Stipe is just as tall as Jon. Jon always has trouble with guys that are tall. I think Stipe is the.
You think Stipe's going to win?
Oh yeah, I think Stipe is the perfect guy to go in there and humble Jon Jones and give him his first loss. But we'll see.
Now he's already talking about the potential next fight, and Dana White was on with our Jim Rome a few hours ago, and Dana made it clear that if Jon wants to fight again after this one, it would have to be up against Aspinall. I know we've already thrown Pereira out there. I'm a casual UFC fan. I've become more of a fan throughout the years, and I'm like, oh, give me Jon Jones, Alex Pereira. That would be awesome. But a lot of the guys in the UFC community are like, no. We need to see Aspinall up against Jones if Jones wins on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the fight. Aspinall right now is I think Aspinall is the baddest man on the planet right now. He's the
best pound for pound fighter.
I think so. He's the up and coming, the young guy, the heavy. He fights everybody. I think John Jones beats Stipe. I think he's got to take that fight. I know what he's saying. He's like, doesn't excite him and whatnot, but I think especially now, like all this, everybody knows that's the fight to make. And Dana said it. So if John Jones beats Stipe, but I think that's a big if.
You know, the face of the UFC, I think, is in like a fascinating point. Like, we know Dana is always the guy that's seen the most and we hear the most from Dana White. For so many years, it was Conor McGregor. Like, I'll believe Conor's going to fight again when I actually see it. But Alex Pereira is the guy, to me, that drives me anytime he's fighting. I got to watch. And how he just keeps on going up weight classes and winning. It's ridiculous right now. What stands out to you about him?
Oh, it's amazing to watch. Just his rise. And he's truly got the striking. He can knock out anybody in the world. And he's big enough that he can, like, that weight cut for him to make 185 and those fights with Adesanya, they're legendary.
We're great.
And then now him at 205, he almost looks like a better fighter. You know, him not killing himself to make weight. He's killing it at 205. And I'm a fan of greatness. So I agree. To watch him go up to heavyweight now and be the first ever 3 weight class UFC champ, it would be amazing. That would be greatness. So I'm rooting for that. I'd like to see that. But like I said before, you know, Aspinall is the guy. I think John Jones, Aspinall, and then maybe you have that. The winner of Aspinall, John Jones fights Pereira. You know, I think down the line you're gonna see Pereira up at heavyweight, and but you know, we'll see against who.
A few more minutes with Matt Frevola, the steamroller in studio. Obviously, UFC 309 coming your way Saturday night at the world's most famous arena, MSG. And you got a cool event going on tonight right here in the city, right, at Mustangs Harry's?
Yeah, going to Mustang Harry's, going to mingle with the fans a little bit. They got the press conference going on now, so after that, going to have a good time over there.
Awesome. And I know that you're a big Met fan, too.
Oh, yeah.
Give us the pitch to your best friend, Steve Cohen, on why we need to go get Juan Soto, right?
Oh, yeah. Come on. Like, the Mets, I mean, just this season, you know, it was so much fun. It really made me like love baseball again. Like, I'm getting my son ready for Williamsport now for Little League. You know, I want him to be the bat boy. You know, I'm going to talk to him, talk to Steve, Uncle Stevie, get Cash Roll in as the bat boy. But yeah, you know, we're clicking right now. I want Alonso to come back. I love Alonso, honestly, but I think Soto will see that. We'll see how much fun the Mets are having right now. And who doesn't want to join that? You know, it's making baseball fun again. So,
yeah, let me get to Michael Chandler because I love the guy, but then he was annoying me because he kept on giving Conor the benefit of the doubt when we all knew Conor was not going to be fighting anytime soon. What do you think we're going to see from Michael? Because everyone's been talking about the Conor side of this. What will he look like when he gets back to the octagon? But Chandler has been waiting a long time to get back in there.
Oh, yeah, and he just kept waiting. I think he's going to have a lot of, like, built-up frustration in there. So it could work against him. You know, he's fighting Oliveira. Oliveira is a beast. You know, Oliveira's definitely got the jiu-jitsu. He beat him in the first they fought before, and Oliveira choked him out. It was a crazy fight. And I think Chandler's definitely the most dangerous in the first round. You know, you think he's going to have all this bent-up frustration, come out guns blazing. But if Oliveira weathers that storm, uses that jiu-jitsu and gets the finish, that's probably what I see is going to happen.
Now, I've said it a few times in this conversation. I'll say it again. I don't think we'll ever see Conor again. Are you in that same line of thinking as well?
I think that we will see him fight again. In the UFC, that's the question.
Oh, so you think it's going to be like another boxing match or something like that?
I think we're going to see him bare-knuckle boxing before we see him
cash grab.
Before we see him in the octagon. But we'll see. I want to see him fight. I think he's still got some fight left in him. He's not fighting for the money anymore, obviously. He wants to fight because he's still got it in him. So I want to see him fight, and I think we will see him fight.
You were a great underdog story from the last time that we talked, and you had a lot of, you know, a good little run there of some national success and getting highlighted a lot. Why do you still want to keep on fighting now in your mid-30s?
Yeah, you know, it's what I do. You know, I love training. I love the lifestyle. So I'm just going to keep living the lifestyle for as long as I can. So, you know, it was never for the money for me. It was because it's what I love to do. I love being in the gym. I love training martial arts. And we're just lucky to keep doing that and keep competing at the highest level. So,
has like retirement at all been on your mind? Just wondering.
Yeah, after every fight, it could be. I treat every fight like it could be my last fight. After every fight camp, after every fight, I always reassess, get back to the gym, and then just get back to having fun, getting better. And then once I start feeling that fire, that killer coming out, and then we get a fight booked. So I'm just enjoying every part of the process, not thinking about it too much, and just having fun with it.
And the last thing I'll ask you, Matt Frevola, the Steamroller's here with us. We just had Wyben on like we were talking about. I know you guys are close. Just what are we getting on Saturday night from Chris?
Let's go. He's still our boy. He's still our boy. Gotta love Chris Weidman Fight Week. He's a Long Island legend and a true inspiration to like not just Long Island, to just everybody out there. Just coming back from all the injuries and still being able to fight and do it, And I like this fight for him this weekend. Eric Anders is a beast, though, another veteran. Eric Anders was a college football player at Alabama. I think he was a linebacker. But our boy Weidman, he's looking good. I know he's living down in North Carolina now, but he's training hard, and I'm so excited.
He's Matt Frevola, the Steamroller. Always great when we get you in. Thanks so much for coming in, Matt.
Yeah, thanks for having me.